So let's say it's time for a price reduction. You know that you've had 6 to 8 showings and nobody made an offer. You've gone 10 to 15 days and nobody's seen the property. Those are both indicators that perhaps there needs to be an adjustment. Now, many times an agent knows that, but is not equipped to get the seller to make that change right now. So, and we all know if we lower the price fairly and honestly, it's going to increase the odds of selling the property faster. So we know it's necessary. So what do we do to prepare for that conference? What do you need? What do you bring along with you? I'm going to recommend that you look at the properties that are under contract with recently to let the seller know. Again, we're going face to face ideally. If you have all chance, if the seller's in town, get face to face, even if it means a night appointment. So you got to go back because we know a price reduction on a listing is like new life in it, increased probability. So now that we've wrestled with that and say we are going to do face to face with our sellers as often as we can, we're going to show them properties under contract and let them know these are buyers we missed. Seller, our goal is to get the next buyer in the marketplace. I want you to review with the seller properties that are under contract, and ideally the ones that are under contract that are superior to the subject property, meaning the square foot is larger, the view is better, the kitchen's been rehabbed. Whatever you can do, find under contract properties that appear superior to the sellers, ideally at a lower list price than the sellers. Just using an easy number here of $300,000. If the subject property is asking $300,000 and you can find an under contract property for $295,000 or $290,000, it hasn't closed yet, but we know if they're listed for $290,000, they didn't get $290,000 if their days in the market was $100,000. We want to ask the seller what they think that property at $290,000 what it actually sold for. You know, it's on the market for all those days in the market. What do you think it went for? And the seller may say $285,000 or $280,000 or whatever the number is. So seller, if they went for $280,000 and they're 300 square foot bigger than you are, and their kitchen has new granite countertops, the baths have been completely gutted, it's all new carpeting, and we don't have those features, would buyers in the marketplace expect us to be north or south of that list price? It's pretty hard for the seller to say, oh, they expect us to be north of that. The seller doesn't really know what's coming when we start to ask that series of questions. We always want to get their opinion on properties of other statuses, not just solds. Importantly, are the superior properties. Always be showing the seller superior properties, not equal properties, because they don't think other properties are equal. But they can judge properties that are superior. So we want to show them the properties that are under contract and let them know that's the buyers that got away from us. We want the next buyer, don't we, in the marketplace? In addition, we of course want to show them active properties. Same situation. Look for failed listings, look for properties, I meant to say, with high days in the market that are for sale with your competition, not your brand. Find competition, high days in the market that are superior properties. That way you can show the home seller, hey, look at XYZ brand. That's a great company. They have all these different offices, all these agents, but they're at 170 days in the market. Great company. Why do you think that house is not selling? With all that marketing behind it, all the days in the market, and look, it's 300 square foot larger than you. It's got a new kitchen, it's got baths, it's got stuff. And get the seller and ask them, why do you think that house is not selling? It'll always come down to the seller won't be able to hold back their opinion. It's the price of the other ones. They think the price is not the problem on theirs, but are quick to state it's a problem on somebody else's property. Now, this last group I'm going to have you bring with you is what I call failed listings. I don't know what you call them, expireds, withdrawns, canceled, whatever it is, somebody had an agreement and it didn't go through. So when you can find pain, because what's associated with active properties is not as painful. But when we look at the news, what do they talk about? Bad stories all the time. Bad stories hit so much more emotions. They leave the feel-good stories on the news for the last 2 minutes of the newscast. Young boy saved cats out of a tree, that kind of a thing. Rescues donkey, whatever it is. And so they save that good news stuff for the end because they know in the news that the more emotional things, it's all bad news. So we want to share with the seller bad news. XYZ Company, you probably heard of them, great national brand. They had that listing for 167 days and they didn't sell it. Why do you think it didn't sell? Because it is 1,200 square foot bigger than us, or 200 square foot bigger. It's got a 3-car, we have a 2-car. It had 9-foot ceilings, we have 8-foot ceilings. Had brand new kitchen, and they didn't sell with a list price of $299.9, and that's where we are, $299.9. Why do you think it didn't sell? By the way, what I'm sharing with you right now is a lot of things that we cover in the Price the American Dream listing presentation. We're just repeating part of that presentation, making sure they're always getting the seller to express their opinion why other houses didn't sell. Again, it's so easy for the seller to express opinion about other houses and why they aren't worth what they are and why they aren't selling. Those words, the seller's going to eat those words. You know, they're going to hear themselves saying things, especially if there's a couple there and one of them's answering all the questions. The other one's kind of sitting there watching the lead spouse, the lead partner. And so what we're looking at is really pricing therapy. The listing interview itself is pricing therapy. All the face-to-face interviews, we go back with the seller, it's pricing therapy. And you got to really understand this and watch this unfold. When there's 2 sellers there, one of them generally leads the conversation. And the other one's not learning from you, the agent. They're learning from their spouse. And they're listening, the quiet one's listening to the other one, vocalizing their opinion. And again, we want to then get both their opinions before we leave, because we don't want a price reduction of just a little bit. We want what we need. If we're going the time to go face-to-face with our client, we should not go for a price reduction we think they can stomach. We want to go really for the one that we need. And as we're wrapping this up about this price adjustment, let them know what should happen in the near future. In the MLS, if you will, we should see a spike in hit counts. We should see a spike in foot traffic from this price adjustment. We should see more showings. Hopefully an offer should be forthcoming. We expect only 6 to 8 people, or whatever your number is, to come through before we expect an offer should happen. Because the seller's going to want to know, if I adjust this price, what do you think is going to happen? We want to let them know that pretty much what we said at the listing interview, 6 to 8 people come through at this new price point. And then we have 6 to 8 people come through. If nobody comes through, it's still your price. Buyers are still voting with their feet. You got to get the seller expecting all the time, it's price, it's price, it's price. It's not you. It's not the marketplace. It's how their house fits in the marketplace at the right price. All right. Thanks for watching.